Say hi, Joey only.
Hi, Johnny only.
I'm Frankie. You're listening to Comedian Meteorological Weather Report every Thursday night. Caribou Weather Dude. YouTube channel, Caribou Weather Dude. Joey only, Caribou Weather Dude. Joey only lives in Wells, British Columbia, Canada, and he's a weatherman in Wells, British Columbia. And the Joey only shows every Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time, every Thursday nights. And on Joey Only Show, Comedian Meteorological Weather Report, Caribou Dude. You should check him out, Joey Only, on his YouTube channel. Best luck, yeah.
Best luck.
Well, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather we got. Wait a minute. Well, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather, whether or not. There it is.
Top story this week. Gabriel Berardo sees a tornado trying to touch down during the recording of the show, so he wasn't on. We didn't know about it. So let's go right to that right away.
Funnel cloud, guys. Right over there. Funnel cloud, it's right over there, guys. Funnel cloud, it's right over there. Look at that. Holy wow, guys. Look at that. It's right over there. Wow, guys, it's forming. Look at that. Holy. Wow. Wow, look at that. Holy. Wow. Hey everybody, and it is GB the Weatherman, and well, yesterday I have caught a rare funnel cloud. Now yes, these things are pretty rare. They have formed from a line of showers that were moving south, and while here in Bradford, Ontario, which is 45 minutes north of the city of Toronto, well, that was pretty shocking just to see a funnel cloud that almost touched the surface, or well, a few 100 meters away from the surface. Yeah, so this thing was really rare. It could have became a land spout or a weak tornado, but well, it's hard to say because there was a bunch of trees in the way. So that have happened yesterday. Very shocking. My second funnel cloud that I've ever seen, ever, and well, the closest to a tornado, in fact. Now this weekend we have those temperatures in the lower 30s feeling into the 40s with a risk of some storms on your Saturday and your Sunday, including your Monday. A rainy start to next week, high 20s, but mid to high 20s lasting the whole entire next week. I'm on vacation next week, mid to high 20s, as I said, and it should be mostly dry with a few risks of storms next week. Have fun and enjoy. I'm GB the Weatherman from the Joey Only Show. You guys and everybody listening have a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, night, wherever you are. I'm GB the Weatherman.
It's Thursday, the 4th of August. This is the Comedeorological Report. Good morning, Prince George. You're hearing us on the 6th. Good afternoon, Winnipeg. You're hearing us on the 8th on CKUW 95.9 FM. Prince George, CFUR 88.7 FM. This is the Comedeorological Report. I'm Joey Only. This is your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada. Live streaming on my YouTube channel, Joey Only Caribou Weather Dude. We're here with Frankie McDonald, who is the weatherman himself from the East Coast, Sydney, Nova Scotia. And I don't know who else we're going to get on the show because Brandon's traveling. It's summer. Everyone's enjoying their nice, warm summer. Frankie, how's your summer going so far?
It's going great so far. There's a major heat wave headed for Sydney, Nova Scotia tomorrow and Saturday, Sunday. A major heat wave is going to hit Vancouver, British Columbia on Sunday and Monday and Tuesday as well. And it's going to hit Ontario. It's going to hit Quebec. It's going to hit upper Midwest United States. It's going to bring so much thunderstorms to Minnesota this Saturday, Sunday. It's going to bring a lot of thunderstorms in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and St. Paul, Minnesota. It's going to bring chain lightning, fair lot down there, heavy downpours, large hail damage, winds, possible tornado. And lots of hot weather down in central states as well, including northeastern United States. It's going to bring really humid weather going from Newfoundland all the way down Florida, Arkansas, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas. It's going to bring really dry heat in Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, Nevada, Colorado, and all these places. Then it's going to expand its way to Oregon, Washington State, and Vancouver, British Columbia. This is Frankie McDonald, my own TV station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Major heat wave is headed towards Vancouver, British Columbia on Monday, August 8, 2022, and temperature's going to be really, really hot. It's going to be well above 30 degrees Celsius in Vancouver, British Columbia, and Fraser Valley, including Chilliwack, Hope, British Columbia, and the surrounding areas including Abbotsford, Richmond, Coquitlam, Port Coquitlam, Maple Ridge, North Vancouver, West Vancouver, Burnaby, New Westminster, Surrey, Delta, White Rock, and Richmond, BC. And temperature is going to be really high in Greater Vancouver. I urge everyone to drink a lot of water and don't walk too far because the heat wave starting on Monday, August the 8th, 2022 in Greater Vancouver, British Columbia, Fraser Valley, including Chilliwack and Hope, British Columbia. I urge everyone in Vancouver to be extra prepared. Make sure to wear your sunscreen. Don't get too hot, stay cool. Have your heat pumps ready to keep the house cool. Have your air conditioners ready. And if your fans ready to keep the house cool, head to the beach and go swimming to get cooled off. Don't wear dark colored clothes. Wear light colored clothes. Wear a ton of sunblock in Vancouver, British Columbia because heat wave is headed towards Vancouver, British Columbia starting on Monday, August the 8th, 2022. I want everyone in Vancouver to be extra prepared because temperature is going to be mighty hot in Vancouver, British Columbia and the surrounding areas including Fraser Valley and everywhere. If you have anybody live in Vancouver, British Columbia, be prepared for major heat wave starting on Monday, August 8th, 2022. Take care, stay safe, but don't get caught in the heat wave. Don't get too hot, stay cool, be safe. And Europe is getting a heat wave next week in England, France, Spain, Portugal, Norway, Finland, Sweden once again, including Tokyo, Japan. They're getting a lot of rain and thunderstorms in northern and southern Japan and central Japan lately. There's a lot of rain going on in India, and there's a lot of sandstorms coming all the way off of west coast of Africa in Sahara Desert, driving all the dry, dusty air all the way into southern states, limiting hurricanes because sandstorms so intense right now in Sahara Desert, bringing a lot of thunderstorms and rain all across Venezuela, Colombia, and all these places bring a lot of stormy weather in southern Chile and Argentina, where rain and snow up in the mountains of Chile. New Zealand's getting a lot of rain and snow up in the mountains lately. There's extreme cold air headed for New Zealand next week in South Island.
How extreme cold?
Very extreme cold in New Zealand.
Very extreme cold?
Yes.
How's the weather in Sydney, Nova Scotia been? How warm has it been?
There's a heat wave headed for your area on the weekend too in Vancouver and Victoria.
Yeah, I don't know how much we'll get here in Wells, but the temperature will go up. It's looking like it's going to be nicer and nicer. I don't think it'll be, we say heat wave, it's not like some of the extreme heat waves we've had, but it's August and there's fires burning. And I think the heat will certainly...
There's extreme heat headed for Greater Vancouver on Sunday and Monday. Certainly
a few days of heat will get some of those fires prepped up and going. So that is the concern next week. And I think we don't have thunderstorms here until Wednesday. Right now in La Ronge, well, actually in Prince Albert National Park area, there's a tornado warning going on, Frankie. So I hope everyone is safe there while we...
Causing a lot of thunderstorms in Minnesota this weekend coming. It's going to head towards northern Wisconsin.
You know, we're sitting here talking about weather, and sometimes it's scary to think that there's people who maybe might be losing all kinds of... It's a dangerous situation right now in Saskatchewan. I was just looking at the radar. It's just you and me. So talk to me about how Frankie McDonald became Frankie the Weatherman.
When I was a little boy, I wanted to grow up. I wanted to be a weatherman. I used to watch the Weather Channel a lot on television when I was a kid. I watched the Weather Network nonstop when I was a kid. And did you hear about that? And I graduated from Academy in 2004. And in the December 27, 2007, I did the very first videos of the scenery. Then on December 16, 2009, I did the very first video of myself. Then on June 8, 2010, I did a video, severe earthquake warning for California, September 2010. It went viral a couple of days later. I was on Tosh.0 Season 2, Episode 13, 2018. And Sarah Sollers wrote writing my book in late 2017, early 2018. And my book is released on June 15, 2018.
What's your book called, Frankie McDonald?
Be prepared, the Frankie McDonald Guide to Life, Weather, and Everything.
So where's your favorite place to eat in Sydney, Nova Scotia?
I like A&W and Boston Pizza. And Jason Marshall's going to do a show at 11:20 p.m. Atlantic time, 7:20 p.m. Pacific time. Jason Marshall's going to do a show.
What's Jason Marshall's show like?
We Don't Have Cookies. He calls it We Don't Have Cookies. That's the name of his podcast.
How can people find that show? I don't want them to watch it while they're watching, while I'm broadcasting, but I guess it's on YouTube, is it? Or
it's on YouTube channel as well.
Right on, Jason Marshall. He's cool with the Comedeorological Report. So when was your first weather video you made, Frankie?
Way back in 2011, like it then for Colorado blizzard forecast back in October 2011.
How many views did that one get?
A lot of views, quite a bit of views. And my most viewed video ever on my YouTube channel was Guy tries to eat 50 hot dogs at once. I did that video on May 21st, 2012.
How many views did that one get?
1.8 million.
That's a lot of views, man. So when you're like walking down the street in Sydney, Nova Scotia, people are like, "There's Frankie." You get
That's me,
that a
Frankie.
lot.
They're getting the picture taken with me a lot.
Yeah, you're kind of a star around that town, aren't you? Someday, I hope you can do the Frankie World Tour.
Going to so many countries, including up in space.
How many countries?
Every single one of them, including up International Space Station, including Russia, including Japan, including Egypt, including Saudi.
Including Chile?
Yes.
What about Madagascar?
Yes, same thing. Mozambique and South Africa, Botswana, and even up in International Space Station and up to other planets.
Up to Mars or the moon, you think?
Mars and Titan.
Frankie McDonald goes to Titan. That'd be a good movie. We should pitch that.
And did you hear about that Saturn's moon Titan? It's totally different.
To be like
Moon altogether. It's a planet like Moon.
it should be like a major motion picture, like Columbia Pictures or 20th Century Fox. Frankie McDonald goes to Titan.
That's going to cost them a lot of money. And did you hear about that? Australia is going to get a lot of hail this October coming. It's going to bring a lot of hailstorms in October in Sydney, Australia, Perth, Australia, and Melbourne and all those places, including Darwin, Australia. It's going to bring a lot of hail in southeastern Australia this October coming in November. It's going to bring a lot of hail this southern hemisphere spring. It's going to bring a lot of hard, large hail and severe weather in southeastern Australia because their spring starts next month.
There was grapefruit-sized hail in Alberta on Monday, just passed, between Red Deer near Ponoka. Broke car windows and terrified people. It was some of the largest hail ever recorded in Canada.
How big is the largest hailstone
Hi,
on
Imogen.
record? Hey.
How you doing?
Grapefruit size hail is the largest hailstone.
Not watermelon size, football size?
What happens if it's Earth size hail?
Oh, I
It
think
would
that's
destroy
called a
the
comet.
Earth.
I think we just call it a comet at that point.
What
Yeah.
happens if it's a Milky Way galaxy size hail?
Now you're getting a little out there, even for me, Frankie. Okay, Milky Way size hail. Now, do you mean like a roving hailstorm going through the universe? A galaxy of hail? Is that what you're talking about? Or
Yeah.
like one giant? Okay, that would be cool.
It would have its own gravity, and then everything would crash into it because it's the universe's biggest hail.
Wouldn't
It would be like the
what
black
happens-
hole of hail.
What happens if it's a hailstone size of the whole universe?
It would become so heavy that its own density would turn in on itself, and it would become a black hail.
Black hail, not a black hole. But how cool? Okay, would it
That
be?
happens.
There's a heat wave headed for your area on Sunday.
There better be. I want to hear more people whining. I want to see hippies suffering and hear the whining. That's what I want to hear. But circling back to
Man.
this whole galaxy of hail, would it be more dangerous to surf on the hail, take a surfboard out in the galaxy and just go surfing, cruising around on a surfboard, or in a kayak, paddling around, galaxy hail, riding a kayak? Which would be more dangerous?
Galaxy hail.
Why would it be more dangerous?
It could be having bigger accidents.
Well, okay. I like this line of reasoning. See, if you're in a kayak on the water and you flip upside down, you drown. If you can't get out of it, you just drown straight up. On a surfboard, you fall off, you may get bonked in the head. You're still tied to the surfboard, so you're not really going to sink. But, you're still bonked in the head. But in a galaxy of hail, you're not going to drown.
If you fall into the black hail,
Yeah.
then maybe you want to have a sail for solar wind.
Okay, that'd be cool.
Surf everywhere, man, just in my mind.
That's
What kind of dreams do you have, Frankie?
And sometimes I have a dream, and could be I don't know.
Do you ever fly in your dreams?
Sometimes I can see a cliff in my dreams. I didn't fall off. I saw wolves. Sometimes
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've had some wolf dreams. Do you ever have tornado dreams?
sometimes a tornado or it could be large hail.
I like to fly in my dreams. I like to fly. You
okay,
know, just-
where are you flying? Where
just
are you flying?
sometimes it can be like I don't like what's going on. People are talking, things are bad. And I'm like, this sucks. I'm out of here. And I just float away. See ya.
See, I thought you'd say something like kind of fun, like you'd go to the zoo and fly around and just like buzz the giraffes and stuff. I mean, they're so tall that they don't really get anything human-sized buzzing by their heads. They might get the odd crow, but so what? But having to do
never buzzed giraffes, but definitely cities and definitely lots of bad guys. You ever fight crime in your dreams?
Sometimes that happens.
Yeah. Super Frankie.
You ever do crime in your dreams? Like dream that you're robbing a bank or something? I can't picture Frankie even like I can't picture Frankie even thinking about robbing a bank or something like that. Or like blowing stuff up that shouldn't be blown up.
Joe Stover's on the road to the Thunder Bay.
What?
That's right. He's going to Ontario for his vacation. Brandon right now is flying, and I know where he's going.
Where's he going?
It's like this big secret. He doesn't want anyone to know. But then, so what was funny was we were doing our pre-record a couple, like 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
And everyone leaves the studio. So it's just me and him left on the Zoom call. And what he doesn't realize is that we're still broadcasting on YouTube, right?
Yep.
So he starts going on. He's like, I got this vacation planned. And
Brandon will be back to work in mid-August.
It's a big secret. No, and luckily no one watches my show. But he's like, it's a big secret. No one can know. And he tells me right away. He's all excited. I'm like, dude, we're still live streaming.
He returns to work at the radio station on August 15th.
So he is on his way to the Maritimes. He is on his way to the Maritimes. I can tell you that for sure. And I know where.
Fire Island.
But not where Frankie McDonald is. He's going somewhere where his hair matches the ground.
Ew. That sounds horrible. He's going to a toxic spill. Why would he go to a toxic spill?
The color of the soil. The color of the soil. Have you been to that province? It's like shocking when you first get there. You're like, wow, it's true.
I was there July 2001. I was only 17 years old.
What did you think of that province, Frankie? That we're not
a celebrity
saying
yet.
because it's
YouTube
secret.
didn't even exist. Social media didn't even exist yet. That's before I entered my first year in high school. It's a great one as well. I'm a Jason Marshall interview right now. I'll be back.
Okay, 7:20. There goes Frankie.
Welcome to Victoria, BC, of the many, 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 many hidden treasures. And cha-ching, all of a sudden you've got a hidden little treasure. Hidden staircase on the middle of a side street in the middle of butt sniff nowhere, and it opens up to this. Look at that. White sand beach. Most of our beaches are pretty rocky and pretty miserable, but this is one of the few that actually has sand. Nice, soft, warm white sand. As was snow-capped mountains off in the distance. That is the US of A over that way. Port Angeles, I believe, is over there. A whole lot of beachfront property along here. Endless sky, sand, sun, sea, blah, 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 blah. Namer to say if you actually have a lisp, so you're welcome for that one. So, there we go. One of the few, yet another of the hidden treasures along here. Welcome to Gonzo Beach. Enjoy the view, everyone. See you on the show. Should you be adventurous enough to walk down the stairs, then this is what you find. You find a white sandy beach. Most of our beaches are pretty miserable and rocky and not all that exciting. This one happens to be white sandy gem goodness. Right over at the bottom of this, right there for you. That sign is actually a warning about molting elephant seals. We have elephant seals here. They occasionally come up on the shore. Sometimes they want to just hang out and see who's doing what. It is ill-advised to feed the wildlife if you happen to be paddling around, kayaking, or just swimming. Sometimes they'll come up, they're getting friendly. Other times they're just downright aggressive. Elephant seals are absolutely huge, positively terrifying. Do not feed the wildlife, people. As awesome as they are to look at, they can be scary. And they'll eat you. Or at least they'll just eat your soul. Anyhow, as you can see, beach weather, sun, sky, sand, sea, blah, 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 blah. Another day in paradise. Just the worst. Hey, figured I'd give you a weather update. It's another sunny day in paradise. Look at this ocean view. Yeah, that's a lot of dirty-ass ocean water spraying up at me all over the place here. So this is what I live. This is the landscape behind me. This is the scenery. Look at every single anyone, and this is what you get. So, but there we go. Yep, this is the ocean wall right down on Dallas Road. Key tourist area. Landscape, mountains, boats, clouds, endless blue sky. Blah, blah, blah. Right behind me, I can't remember wild history, and then if you go a little bit farther down, in the 1920s roundabouts, there, before the seawall was formed, we had some pretty wildlife that collapsed, and right behind it is Ross Bay Cemetery. There were bodies washing all over the beach. It was disgusting, it was beautiful. I'm not old enough to have been that far. Although I would certainly like to try and convince you that I am old enough to have been there. That is awesome. Anyhow, weather update from paradise. There you go. Look at that. Yep, beautiful. I love the beautiful landscape, and I'm spoiled after life. I'm also getting sprayed by a lot of dirty, rancid ocean water. For the record, we dump our raw sewage right into this water. It is not a good place to be swimming. So, I'm going to give you a little tour of the little landscape up here, because coming up this way, let's just turn this shit around. There we go. Coming up this way, we got the mural that gets updated every few years. We got a mural that gets updated every few years. Look at this beauty. Fresh paint on this one from 2021 from the FUA Collective, and I'm not going to say that on the radio because we're not allowed to. Thank you, CRTC. Yep, another bright update. Walk along here. This is one of the hidden gems. Actually, right along here, we actually have this is all full of sand a lot of the time. They sometimes fill it with sand, so it's like a weird little beach. Yeah, we get this nifty little beach in this inset area. It's a hidden stairwell. It's one of those little tourist attractions that you'll find on the hidden gems lists all over the place, but it often makes its way there. I'll show you what it looks like from the top, because this is actually super cool. Running up the stairs. So coming up to this is what you see. You're walking along. There you go. Ocean, cruise ships, beautiful landscape. Yeah, sun, ocean, endless sky, blah, blah, blah. And there you go. All it is a little cutaway. Walk forward and kelp. Drawing some plants. Beach that you can only really get to by going down a cliff or at low tide when you can actually walk across. And then down here is where we have all of the that hidden gem. And there's lots of people, so I'm not going to show that, but that's where you get the stairs that go directly into the ocean. There you go, third most unlivable city in Canada. But isn't it lovely? Great place to visit. Not so ideal to live.
So the weather was really nice in Victoria. Talk to us about your sewage beach.
With CRTC approved language, the beaches here are absolutely beautiful, picturesque, scenic, endless blue skies, beautiful blue, deep Pacific Ocean, whales in the distance, sea otters will come up to you. There's actually an area where I go kayaking. Me and my buddies, we're pirates. We'll set off on a public beach and wash up somewhere that maybe we're not supposed to, and just sort of hang out for an hour and then head back, paddling across a lagoon. And while we're out there, we will see sea otters will come right up to the boats, and we'll see giant jellyfish and, eagles overhead. And it is just the stuff of, it looks like something from a movie set. However, we also dump millions and millions and millions of pounds and liters and whatever unit of measurement y'all want to use of raw sewage right into our waters. We have zero treatment. What we have for treatment is it gets pushed through a screen. It gets broken down into a fine paste and dumped right into the oceans. Raw sewage, everything that gets put in there. One of our beautiful, scenic, picturesque, appears on postcards at every tourist shop is the Gorge Waterway. It is breathtaking in its view. When the tide goes out, you can see the foam from all of the laundry soap that is dumped directly into the waterway. It's covered in this thick, harsh, yellow foam. It is soap foam. If you pick it up, you can feel the soap. You can wash your hands with it. It's disgusting. One of our inlets, about 20 years ago.
And people would think that sewage is like brown or black or something, but it's not. It's like a gray sort of color, isn't it? When they dump it.
closer to the sewage, the little runoff pipes, when the water levels go down, you can see shredded toilet paper all along the beach, all along the rock walls. It's, if you actually look for, you take 5 seconds and look a little closer at what's in front of you, and you see shredded toilet paper. There is a slimy film that you only find near the sewage outcroppings. It's gross, but topically for tourists, it's absolutely beautiful. It looks nice. Then the tide goes out and you look closer and you see that, yeah, a turd just washed by you. Great. We do have an extremely corrupt city hall. We have really poor city planners. In a few years ago, I was actually cleaning offices, and I was cleaning the office of a civil engineer, and I saw some of the shady things going on in there. Just paperwork left on the tables. I mean, I'm cleared for security. I can't actually give specifics or really say much, but I was seeing a lot of stuff that, you know, really, if the public knew about it, there would be a lot more people would be a little more upset with things, or typically complacent, because this is a very laid back, complacent kind of environment here. So who knows? There's a lot of shady stuff going on. I'm not happy with our government.
Yes.
Or any government. Let's be real.
Don't spill the beans, because we don't want you to go missing and turn up in the sewage.
Well, up island, we do actually have a certain occurrence of feet washing up on shore, severed feet every now and then. A lot of like crime TV shows have incorporated that into storylines. It makes the news every time, but it's happened enough times that it's become fodder for, you know, shows like CSI or Law and Order and whatnot, Bones. They've all used storylines with severed feet, and that's based on what happens here, because we do get that.
Hi, Willow.
Hi.
Hi, Waylon.
Hi, Daddy.
What was this place?
Court.
Court.
Yeah, it's court.
It's where the bad kids would get sentenced.
Yeah.
Built in 1882, this is British Columbia's oldest surviving courthouse, replacing the one which stood here from 1862 to 1882. By 1918, declining population in Richfield led to the building closure. Designated a provincial historic object in 1945, it was restored by the provincial government in 1962.
You see a lot of wildlife there. Like you've dealt with bears and you dealt with, I don't know, pumas or whatever. What's the occurrence of Sam Squatches and chupacabras?
Yeah, well, chupacabra definitely not, because that's like a sort of a Texican thing, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Senior.
I could consult the book of monsters. My friend Dan Zanko, he's this writer in Alberta.
Yeah.
And he's really funny. And for a long time, he was like writing for the Edmonton Journal or whatever that main newspaper was.
Yeah.
And he was making his thing was video game reviews. So like he wrote video game reviews and made a living writing for the newspaper, right?
Yeah.
So in the process, he wrote a book that's really, really good. It's called Complete Guide to Monsters or something like that. But it's all written like it's taken pretty seriously.
Oh, nice.
As if these monsters exist. And but it's quite funny, and it's each monster gets its own sort of like page and a half or page.
Yeah. With
an illustration, and it's great. You know, it's the kind of thing that you can read to your kids, but it's kind of made for adults too. It's a good book.
Sweet. I've got a Encyclopedia of Cryptozoology here. I'm not going to go look for it, Joey, but I do have one. It's just on the bookshelf somewhere. There's a million bookshelves here, but it's got some pretty cool stuff in there. And there is, I don't know if you remember Thetis Lake, but one of the lakes out here, there was apparently a sighting of a monster in the 70s at Thetis Lake. We've had a few. Sasquatches are the best known for BC. But we did have there was the Ogopogo one, which was like a giant eel or something. And then the Thetis Lake one was kind of cool looking too, by the description.
I think
Which I think it was just some kids on acid.
I think Ogopogo is likely a couple large sturgeon surfacing.
I don't know what a sturgeon looks like.
Well, they can be quite large, like as in 15 to 20 feet. Or I know back in Ontario at McDonald Lake, not far from Mum's house, there was sturgeon that could be like 15 to 20 feet long found in the bottom of that lake, right? So they can get really, like the river sturgeon in BC don't get quite so big, but
Yeah.
they can be 12-foot long. So you get a couple sturgeon coming up and people in the distance like, what was that?
Monsters.
Right? Yeah. There's usually a pretty good description. I've seen from a distance a black bear standing on its hind feet.
Yeah.
Just standing there, and it did come down and then walk away, but for a good couple seconds I was like, from a distance, like, what the? And then I realized what I was looking at. It was kind of getting dark and it wasn't good visibility, and there's this like giant thing standing on its feet. Some 100 feet away or something like that, right? So I've never come across Sasquatch. I would think, like BC's forests,
Yeah.
it'd be pretty hard after this length of time for something to have not been, seen, proven, or found of that size. It just it's a tough sell on me on the Sasquatch.
Well,
Water creatures. There's weird things that happen in the water. There's some deep lakes in BC. I won't speculate that there's dinosaurs or whatever, but there could be things we aren't aware of in the bottom, or exceptionally large versions of, like I say, deep water sturgeon can become really big, right?
Yeah. Well, I think it was last summer or the summer before, up island, somewhere up island a little bit, there was discovered a whole lot of bears, like a bear transit route. There was like a bear highway effectively that had not been previously known. And so the bear population, we only recently discovered that it's much larger than we thought. It was also discovered that there was a lot of wolves living in the area as well. Again, way more than expected. So like, we've been through the forest, but there's so much life in there and things change and evolve at a fairly rapid pace. Like the ecology of it evolves. So what it looked like 10 years ago is totally different now. So we might have some mutant Sasquatches that have since developed like tentacles and monkey feet. So that they can climb and swing in trees very rapidly.
Could be true, but not likely. Not likely. Yeah, the forest has been so logged, unfortunately, that some of the mystery is taken out of it. Here's a Darren Zenko book. I don't have to go look at my shelf. The Field Guide to Monsters by Darren Zenko. It's even got the field guide kind of look to it. It's hilarious. And so is Darren. There he is. So now you know.
See, I wasn't gone far. Mine, Field Guide to North American Monsters. Whole other bag of cheese from yours. See, look at that. There's Sasquatch. That guy's real. In that he's really in a photo. Everything you need to know about encountering over 100 terrifying creatures in the wild by H. Hayden Blackman. And there is some cool stuff in there. Not going to start reading from a book of monsters, but Sam Squanches might be out there.
I do like books of monsters, though, just because I like that kind of stuff. Whether I believe in Sasquatch or not, that's fun stuff, right? Why not entertain? Read about monsters. It's funny.
What's up, Frankie?
Say hi, Jolioli.
Hi, Jolioli.
I'm Frankie McDonald. You're listening to Comedian Meteorological Weather Report on every Thursday night on Comedian Plus Meteorology Caribou Weather Do Jolioli YouTube channel on every Thursday night at 11 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go check it out. Go. It's on every Thursday night. Jolioli Show. Comedian Plus Meteorology Caribou Weather Do Comedian Meteorological Weather Report every Thursday night. Jolioli Show. Say hi, Jolioli.
Hi, Jolioli.
I'm Frankie McDonald. You're listening to Comedian Meteorological Weather Report with Jolioli. I'm Frankie McDonald.
How was Jason Marshall's show, Frankie?
It went great. I got something to say. Jason Marshall, I was talking to him. I was talking to two other public figures on Jason Marshall's show. Those two guys are watching my videos and things like this.
Good.
I got something to say. Roger the Wild Child Show, Nashville edition, starts up on August the 14th, 2022 at 9 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Roger the Wild Child Show, Nashville edition. They interview those country music stars and country musicians and things like this. And I got something else to say. Roger the Wild Child Show, Hollywood edition starts on Wednesday, August 31st, 2022 at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time on every Wednesday.
Frankie, have you ever heard about ball lightning before?
I got something to say. Roger the Wild Child Show. Hey, everybody. Roger the Wild Child Show, Nashville edition starts on Sunday, August 14th, 2022 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time. Roger the Wild Child will be interviewing country musicians and things like this. Nashville edition of Roger the Wild Child Show starts on Sunday, August 14th, 2022. And Roger the Wild Child Show, Hollywood edition starts on Wednesday, August 31st, 2022 at every Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time. Roger the Wild Child will be interviewing actors and actresses and things like this.
Frankie and I were just, so Imogen and I were just talking about Sasquatches and Loch Ness monsters and things like that, Frankie, which got me thinking about ball lightning. Do you know anything about ball lightning?
It's way up in the sky. That could trigger a lot of
Not
lightning.
always, though. Ball lightning is some weird phenomenon that can appear before or after lightning or as a result of lightning. Apparently, they're not sure if it's a plasma ball or what it is. It's still a big mystery of science. What is ball lightning? But one thing is for sure, it exists. They know for sure it exists now. It's just been seen too many times. So there's a lot of a weird electrical phenomenon. There's sprites and things like this that happen in the sky. A certain amount of UFO sightings, I think, are actually electromagnetic phenomenon.
Okay, I'll give you a point for specifying some, but there's a lot of aliens roaming around, man. Like, I'm going to say the majority of alien sightings are aliens. Forget your.
Are you an alien, Imogen? Frankie, you ever meet an alien?
No, not at all. Aliens don't exist in real life.
Oh, come on. Since when?
Since when I was born. Since a long time.
Since when you were born?
Since
Dear Lord.
Do you think there's life in the universe, Frankie?
I don't know. It's too hard to tell.
I think there's probably life in the universe, but I think the universe is really, really big. And it's very hard to get from one place to the other.
Well, maybe hard for us because we are feeble and unevolved. We are chimps. Come on, man. We're not that much higher on the evolutionary scale than chimps. So given the size of the universe and the probability, if you're just looking at odds, there's a real good chance of life out there. Some sort of sentient life.
There's probably life in our solar system.
Yeah.
There's probably life in our solar system.
I mean, in the late 90s, there was a fungus or a mold or like a moss or something found to be growing on one of our satellites that was actually in orbit of the Earth. And that is classified as a life because it is something that exhibits growth. It has a behavioral pattern. It has it's got a genetic structure. It has cells that replicate. So by definition, there is life. It's just not something that we would be able to have a conversation with or, whip a pie in its face. So there's life, but we can't always talk to it.
Doesn't have a face to pie.
Exactly. And if you can't whip a pie in an alien's face, why bother? At the very least, you got to slap it.
That would be just a comical way to start. The first Vulcan walks off.
Yeah. Welcome to Earth. Here's a pie in the face.
Everyone's laughing at him, and the Vulcans are like, we do not understand their communication.
Yeah, we're screaming yuck, 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 and poking them in the eyes, and they're saying Klaatu Barada Nikto. Things stand still, and everyone's sad. Half the world's in darkness. The oceans stop moving, and all from a pie.
What do you think it was like when the dinosaurs lived, Frankie?
Dinosaurs, it was way different during Jurassic and Cretaceous period. There's no people living on Earth then.
What do you think it'd be like if you could go on a time machine back?
That means that could kill all the dinosaurs because somebody got the got a virus, and if you travel back to the time of the dinosaurs, if somebody sneezes, all the dinosaurs go down.
Oh, you just watched that episode of The Simpsons, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's right. I knew it. It's a documentary, man. For those who are not familiar,
I was like, wow, that's brilliant. And then Imogen blows it for me.
for those who are unfamiliar, it's Simpsons Halloween special from, I think it's season 4, possibly season 5. Homer goes back in time and he sneezes in a dinosaur's face, and then a whole chain reaction of death happens. He goes back to the future. Things are weird. He goes back in time. The first fish.
I do recall that.
He sits on it. I wish I hadn't killed that fish. Then he remembers.
I do recall that.
Yeah. Do you remember what Abe's wedding day advice to him was?
No.
There's a lot of people go on Joey Only Show there on vacation.
Yes, sir. On Homer's wedding day, Abe says, "Son, if you ever go back in time, don't touch anything."
Just like time traveler, things like this. And a spoiler alert, that means you should watch Avengers Endgame. Spoiler alert, all you guys gotta watch it first.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of the Marvel movies. Are they really good?
They're really good. That means I'm not telling any spoilers.
Frankie!
Crossed my mind as the kids and I were looking for things to watch the other night, but instead we settled for Mad Max Fury Road.
How did you like that one?
It's like that's what movies should be like. I thought, like,
Really?
yeah, it's not deep, it's not perfect. I get it. I'm not saying it's great. It's a great, it's beautiful. It's shocking to the mind. It's stimulating to the eyes. It's like everything is just way crazy. So it's very imaginative. That's what I liked about it.
Okay.
And I like how they purposely tried to hire freaks, in their pursuit of freaks. This guy shows up and he's like a busker. And what he does is he plays this crazy guitar. They're like, yeah, this guy's awesome. Let's make a character for him. So, there's a big truck that has guys playing drums and dudes just flying around with his guitar and it spits fire. That's the other thing, his guitar spits fire, right? So it's like,
That is
he's just a busker freak. And they wrote him into the movie because they just thought, yeah, this guy's, we don't have a part for this guy, but yeah, okay, you're in. So to me, like, I like when you're looking at the people in the movie, like they found some really hard looking people to, they did their homework to find some of those faces.
Well, to be fair, the
teethless and weird noses, people missing limbs, and they just hired anybody who is a complete freak. And I thought that was wonderful. Personally, it wasn't just CGI. It wasn't just a bunch of, there was a couple pretty girls and whatnot, but like most of the characters aren't these CGI freaks. Like they're actual people who are just mutantly
deformed,
weird.
disfigured, severely physically differently abled. And thank you for referring to that demographic as freaks.
Well, because there's just such a wide variety in the movie, right? It's a freak show movie, essentially.
It does kind of hinge on that. The visuals were pretty awesome.
It's trying for that.
Yeah.
Trying for that. The vehicles are awesome. So yeah, again, like it's not a perfect movie, but it's one it's some good eye candy. Definitely.
Visually,
I don't put it on my top movies list, but I love it nonetheless.
I do want to circle back to the very first part of what you said about how it's what movies should be, and then followed up by saying it's not great.
Well, what I mean is what it should be is it's imaginative.
Okay.
It's not like, I don't like a movie. For example, in the 90s, everybody would watch Friends on Thursday night. And I didn't, because I didn't care about a bunch of people having coffee in some restaurant. I just thought, I don't want to watch a show that doesn't really take me. I guess that was a different place, but it wasn't a place I could really relate to either. It's just like these sort of dweebs that have a good life or whatever. I don't know. I didn't find the show funny. I didn't relate to the characters. That wasn't the kind of thing so I always liked movies that were fantastic, that were you're gonna make a movie. It's not just gonna be When Harry Met Sally or something, right? I mean, good movie, I'm sure, but it's just I'm not interested in that. That's like normal everyday things that happen.
I know.
So when you go to a different universe, or you go to a different time, or you go back to the dinosaurs in a movie, or Marty McFly can travel in time, or Indiana Jones is fighting the Nazis. It's there's some sort of creativity that makes the movie not just. So I like the escapist element of a movie, I guess is what I'm saying, right?
Oh, I'm with you on that one.
When I,
Things that
when I want to be intellectually triggered, my go-to is to listen to university level lectures on things like geology or weather or World War II or stuff like, so I just don't find when I want to be stimulated intellectually, that necessarily a fiction movie for me is the way that I like that the best, right? So
sure.
but sometimes heady, dark movies that are slow are for me. Das Boot or whatever. We talk about movies lots in the show, but
I never understood the appeal of Friends. It was so super popular. I didn't get it. It just seemed really boring. But it actually had a place where it was a fairly important show for one reason, in that it was one of the first shows to be in the primetime slot that actually had looked at there was the queer character, the dude, David Schwimmer's character. I'm not familiar with all their names, but David Schwimmer's character is married to the lady who came out as a lesbian and then left him. The marriage broke up or whatever. There's that element, which was not, and that was, the LGBT thing was very moving forward. There's a lot more in terms of same-sex couples were becoming more and more able to add each other to their health plans through work, for example. Same-sex marriage was being legalized in Canada around that time, and a lot of older people were for the first time able to come out, and so there were a lot of people realizing that about themselves and being a little bit more open instead of hiding it and staying in the closet, so to speak. And so Friends showing that dynamic of a relationship, that was one of the first times that appeared on TV, where the reality of someone who goes through the motions and doesn't learn that about themselves until they're much older, they're married, maybe they've got kids. It was a big thing. And for that to become a part of social consciousness, that was a big deal for TV. So it did have a very important place. But the show itself, I thought it sucked, aside from that key part, but like, still, I wasn't interested in the characters or the story or any of that. So boring.
I really didn't know any of that about Friends, to be honest. But
yeah,
that shows you how little I actually paid attention. Like I knew there's like Phoebe and Joey, and then there's that guy that's like Chandler. He's supposed to be cool or something. Like I don't know. I was punk rock. I didn't care. That wasn't for me. 90s. Pretty yuppie stuff, I thought. But I mean, that's humongously famous still, right? So, and people look back, and that's like back when we only had a couple channels to watch, people were forced to endure
what was available
and then convince themselves that it was good when really it wasn't. It's just that it's Thursday at 8 p.m. and there's nothing to do. It's the winter. And so you put on global TV. That's the channel you get because you live in Canada. Friends is on. We
have two channels.
Like you're being force fed this
insipid,
empty froth.
Yeah. Well, when it was big, I didn't watch TV like at all. I don't think like I had an antenna on the back of the house and we got like a channel or two and that was it. But I was involved with the Victoria Youth Pride Society at the time, and being aware of pop culture and these themes as they appeared, or actors and singers who were behind the scenes, they were openly queer, but for their public image they had to hide that. And so those were the issues that we addressed, and we would do things like talk at junior high schools where people could just ask us questions like, what's your experience with dating? What's your experience with telling your parents? Or how did your parents react? Stuff like that. And so part of engaging with teenagers, and we were like in our early 20s, so this isn't like it's not super out there, but part of engaging with them was being able to relate in terms of pop culture. And so whenever we heard about this stuff, then part of the job was to learn about it, watch a few episodes. I couldn't get into that side of it, but the guys that I was working with really did, and just gravitated to it and just loved it. And so we actually we actually broke it down and analyzed it and talked about what was actually shown in the show and how it was packaged for mass consumption so that the larger populace could be introduced to the idea in a fun and lighthearted way. For a lot of people, it was very strange and they didn't get it. But for a lot of people who lived it, they were very happy to see the representation.
Not even Courtney Cox could get me to watch the show.
Oh, yeah. She was so hot for a while.
So that's why you just put on Ace Ventura. You don't need friends.
No.
When you got Ace Ventura.
Yeah. Oh, she was so cute in that, man. That was awesome.
The whole movie's so good.
It really is. Yeah. Finkel is Einhorn, man. Never forget that.
My godparents' sister married this comedian, Wayne Fleming, who grew up in the Yuck Yuck scene with Jim Carrey, was Jim Carrey's best friend for many years. And I don't know, they had some falling out near the end, but doesn't matter. When I was a teenager, Jim and Wayne were still very close, and Wayne would write often some of the jokes and some of the clips in the movies at the time. So I felt very close to those movies growing up, in a sense, hearing Wayne's side of it and jokes. He wrote, Wayne Fleming wrote the "Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a pool man" part of it, right? Because he knew that Jim could do those because they've been doing comedy together for so long, right? So if you ever do get a chance, look up Wayne Fleming. If you can find any of his old videos, the guy was really funny. He was, but one of those comedians who never quite got out of the grunge circuit of comedy because of whatever, just being a wasteoid in life or mess up, Comedians tend to be dysfunctional people.
Sad, bitter, depressed. It's really common with comedy, for sure. Yeah.
Yes, I tell jokes because I hope everyone suffers like I do inside.
My humor is meant to bring you suffering, distress, trauma.
I play kind of a deadpan character on the show. It's not completely who I am.
Yeah, by the way, who is what demographic actually listens to this on the radio? Out of curiosity.
The demographic? I don't know. I mean, Winnipeg, I know that the directors of Bo Station quite like the show. They think it's pretty brilliant. So
oh, brilliant.
I got a comment from somebody. Yeah, I got a comment from somebody recently who's a pretty good critic of things. He said, "You're as good as anybody on the radio right now, Joey." It's like, thank you very much, actually. So there's definitely some appreciation.
That's good.
The show gets listened to by people in their houses and whatnot. It's too bad we haven't really broken through on the internet version so much, but whatever.
With that little pause in there, I thought you were going to say people in their 80s.
No, it's on university stations. So who listens to university radio? Well, I mean, no one. So, but they should support community radio and they should support university radio because, it's do whatever we want, right? It's making good radio. I don't have to have some script approved by CBC or something like that. It's great. We just
that is true.
Get together and talk and make a show. Yeah, it's wonderfully free.
It is.
I know that the people. I know we're a mystery in Winnipeg who's appreciated. Of course, I've played a lot of gigs in those towns, so there are people who are like, Joey Only's on the radio here. Weird. Check it out. I used to be cool back in my younger days.
The older I get, the cooler I used to be.
The cooler the reflection, the rearview mirror looks. in the review area appear cooler than they actually are.
Joey, before the pandemic, you used to travel all across Canada with your band.
That's true, Frankie. It wasn't just the pandemic that stopped that, though. That was part of it, definitely. But a lot of it was just becoming a family man. And man, I don't want to say much on the radio, but there was a time period where getting anything done in my life was very difficult for a bunch of reasons. So, and then there was a time afterwards where I just, so.
Back in April
That's,
2020 and late March 2020, the whole planet Earth was shut down.
I didn't really play gigs much in the last 5 years now, Frankie. Before that, I played like 100 shows a year often.
Frankie,
Very busy.
Frankie, what's the farthest you've ever traveled from Sydney, Nova Scotia?
Corner Brook, Newfoundland. I was only a toddler then.
You're only a toddler.
In the 1980s.
How tall were
The
you?
farthest west I traveled to is to Moncton, New Brunswick. I was only a little toddler then. I don't remember. I was too young to remember back in the day.
Okay, that's fair. Oh, Frankie, have you ever had long hair or a mohawk?
None. I get buzz cut by Gerard Coombs. My next haircut at Borden's Barbershop. Gerard's my barber on Thursday, September 15, 2022 at 2 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
That's when you get your haircut at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time?
Yes.
Does your barber have a Pacific Standard Time clock in his shop so he can tell you that as well?
I get my buzz cut on September 15th. That's next month.
That's good. That's good. How can people find you on the internet, Frankie?
My Twitter is at Frankie McD. My Facebook is Frankie McDonald. My Instagram is Frankie McD984. My Clapper is FrankDown984. My Twitch is FrankDown984. And my TikTok is FrankDown984. My LinkedIn is Frankie McDonald. And my Snapchat is Frankie MCDOA. And my YouTube channel is Dogs and Wolves. If you want to order Frankie Down Bobbleheads on National Bobbleheads Hall of Fame, search Talking Frankie Down Bobbleheads on Google. Search and find the link to National Bobbleheads Hall of Fame. And did you hear about that? You can search Frankie McDonald on Amazon.ca and Amazon.com as well.
Right on. This has been Comedy Meteorology Report. Joey Only, Imogen Bailey, Frankie McDonald, talking about how much the weather sucks in Canada on CFR 88.7, CKW 95.9 FM, live streaming on Joey Only, Caribbean Weather Dude, Thursdays at 7 p.m. if you ever want to tune in the show and leave us some comments. Everyone's on vacation this week. We got no cast.
Oh,
and
yeah.
even Prince George radio station's on vacation. So it's one of those weeks. But hey, we got together and we did it anyways. See you next time.